Здравствуйте, спасибо, что открыли это прекрасное видео. Начинаем! Привет, я Даша, и я from Russia. Я преподаватель русского языка как иностранного и философ. I was born and grew up in the version of Russia that not a lot of people know about. I grew up in a tiny village in Siberia. To be more precise, it's like on the border between the Urals and Siberia. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, like Siberia, the Urals, what? We will cover it in the course. While learning about others, you're actually learning about yourself. And something similar is happening with this course, because while I'm teaching you Russian, I'm actually sharing myself. Okay, it sounds creepy, but I'm sharing my version of Russian and my version of Russia with you. I find language fascinating just because it's a meta structure that we're using. So we kind of have the agency, but at the same time, language is being spoken through us and it guides us, gives us direction, highlights things that we pay attention to on the way, and like provides us with like assumptions that are, although despite all of the negative
sides, sometimes are useful because it kind of gives us some sort of ground, like without which we won't be able to make any decisions or make any actions.
It's too early for that, guys. Let's move on. Drinking my coffee from a cardboard. I've been teaching Russian as a second language for a very long time now. I mean, for me it is a long time, but I guess everything is relative. It's been 5 years. I started from tutoring without any education, any certification, or like any desire to make it something more professional, official. Then after 2 years, I realized that it's something that I actually wanna do in my life. It brings me so much joy. I'm a mediator, but at the same time, I'm a creator of Russian language. I'm actively creating one of the many versions of the language culture, and I love it. That's why I'm doing that. I have so many friends that are polyglots, which is very ironic. I feel like I'm сапожник без сапог, как говорится в России, how we say it in Russia. So, like, although I teach polyglots and I talk a lot about language because I am getting a degree in philosophy of language and I love talking about talking, thinking about thinking. Myself, when it comes to actually learning the language, I still find it hard and not very engaging, but I love talking about this. I love talking about language as a structure, as an instrument, and just applying different paradigms to the language, whether you're teaching it or learning it. It's something that I'm really passionate about. Почему я начала преподавать русский язык? I was fascinated by the fact that people were interested in my language, that they had reasons to learn it. So many people requested a lesson with me because they wanted to read Tolstoy, Dostoevsky in the language of origin. It made me very grateful to have this language as my mother tongue. I don't think that I would be able to learn it if it wasn't my native language. So good luck. I want you to approach language with the paradigm of it being a tool. I want it to be your side effect of all the things that we're going to do in this course. So Russian is a side effect, which makes it very easy for you and enjoyable. I just want you to be entertained. That's what I want in this economy of attention. You're watching this video, you're kind of entertained, at least I hope, and you more or less немного учишь русский. Немного, немножечко. Like, what is this weird thing on my back? It is a Russian smile. Russian speakers use on the internet, we do not have eyes on the smiley, right? We have only the parenthesis thingy. Skopka. Skobka. So many words you learned today. Good job. Why did I call the course untranslatable? .ru. Do not forget .ru, because I kind of forget sometimes. Cutecats.ru. And the course is online, so I wanted to make it a little bit tech abroad, these websites do not work. I remember when I was visiting my family in Russia, every time when I visit them, I finally have access to these Russian websites and I can just, I don't know, casually send a link or two to my friends and they would be so scared to open it, where it's very, very funny to like see their reaction. And untranslatable is because culture is untranslatable and language is culture. We cannot just do a dummy translation from cat to koshka. Can we? I don't know what they want from me. I just believe that while we're talking, like I'm speaking right now, so I'm translating my thoughts into words in English, and it's, you know, that when you try to speak your thoughts, it doesn't come out as eloquent as in your mind. So it's kind of lie. So first lie, right? And then you try to translate it from English to Russian, for example, or vice versa, and it's a second lie. So we're getting further and further from the truth. Мысль изреченная есть ложь. Why I think it's cool to look at untranslatable words, and I'm actually going to present so many untranslatable words for you in this course, because the fact that it's untranslatable already tells us something. It's like a signal. Something is interesting here. Why is it untranslatable? Well, my theory, and a theory that I think is very prevalent among the linguists and theorists of language, is that it's untranslatable because, well, the concept itself does exist everywhere, but the label was needed in this particular language because it maybe just this phenomena was happening much more often, or it was important to share this phenomenon with others. So for you, in order to share, you cannot just like send your thought into the brain of the other person. You need to transmit it somehow, and to transmit it you need to say it out loud or like show it somehow. So you're saying тоска, мне тоскливо, я тоскую. And this is an example of one of the most popular untranslatable words in Russian, which can be translated into English as longing, melancholy, depression, but it doesn't really offer as much because тоска in Russian is such an interesting word that, like, there was a reason why it appeared in Russia. Like, it's a combination of climate factors, political factors, and how administration was working, how the nobles lived, like the habits of people, religion. There's so many things that intertwined in the past for this word to be born. Что такое винегрет? Винегрет, винегрет, винегрет. Я выбрала винегрет как метафору к этому курсу, потому что в России, at least in my household, in my family, we say that something is vinaigrette when something is a very like crazy mixture of different things that like seem not to belong with each other, but we mix them anyway. So vinaigrette, it's a salad. It's a very popular salad in Russia. I mean, if we compare it to oливье, you know, this very heavy Russian salad with like 80% of mayonnaise. Vinaigrette is amazing because it's just a bunch of very nice vegetables for your body, for your mind. Огурчик, помидор... Нет, не помидорчик. Огурчик, морковка. Наверное, капустка. Картошка. Свекла. Свеклу забыла. Свекла? Okay. Comprehensible input in this course is like свекла in vinaigrette. The most important, like, the center. I use vinaigrette as a metaphor for this course because it's just a collage of my thoughts, my experiences, through stories of several generations. I'm going to use footage of my family. It's very personal course, I would say, because you're going to learn Russian through me and through all the heritage, the cultural heritage that I have. So it's like very serious. Не хухры-мухры. We are going to cover everything, and if you're like thinking, oh no, we're not going to cover adequate stuff, we will cover all the basic grammar that you need, don't worry about it. Some of the other things that I'm going to share is how to use AI and other like artificial intelligence, how to use it in your language learning. I'm going to share my tips, tricks, and tricks of my students, because honestly, if I'm not that experienced with language learning, my students are. They're like bunch of polyglots that know 11, 13, 14 languages. Excuse me, how? So, and they share their experience with me, they share their tips with me, which I will share with you. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm sharing everything. I'm also going to provide a humongous list of cool resources like podcasts, books, movies, series. And for most of them, I am trying my best to find the best links that will work for you, but I'm not no promises because, well, it's Russian content and most of the time it's on a website that would contain .ru at the end and won't be able to open anywhere. This entire course can be found on Notion. It's a bunch of notes that I'm really proud of. You can download them and use them on your iPad or your laptop. You can just work on Notion straight away, or you can print them, because for some people you need to touch it, right? Because we're all different and we all learn differently. Поехали!